Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good night to you all. Hope you all had a lovely day, whatever it is that you've been doing with it, because I mostly just played Minecraft, to be honest, and Stardew Valley. Diversity. And the reason I was like, yes, I can just game today is because I managed to hit 25k yesterday. Which wasn't expecting to do it that early, mostly. I thought I was going to hit it today. And the reason I hit it yesterday is because A, tabletop didn't run. We took a week off from not playing tabletop games. And then I wrote an article about Dragon Goal. So hey, good afternoon, Delian. Yes, good 2 p.m. 2 p.m.'s a good time of day. I've usually been awake for an hour at 2 p.m., so... At least at this 2 p.m. it's, I've been awake for like 10 hours, which is great. Get a Christmas gift from your Danish friends and they finally got back to work. Yep. Nah, yeah, they took a nice little break over Christmas. I think we got a package delivered on the Saturday, like after Christmas, which was really weird. It's like, y'all never work on weekends. But I think... Oh no, because what happened was it got delivered to my dad's golf, and then he picked it up from golf. But it was like, well, that was weird. It was a random Saturday gift. And then I think there's nothing in the post, but I have no idea. I haven't checked. I don't know if people are keeping secrets from me as to presents that are appearing in the mail at some point. And now people are back to work, except then they'll all go on holiday again for New Year's. And it's like, oh shit. Packages will stop coming once again, which is great. But weekends and holidays are good for postal workers. Postal workers are good. So yeah, I was gonna do a sneaky plug and share this article, but you've already read it, so that's kind of a waste. So I don't think there's anybody else here except for you at the moment. So it's like, I'll wait until like raiders come in later or something. Since I'm now the evening host, since Greg's on holiday. I think because there should be somebody streaming after me, right? Rob's still after me, like he usually is. I have to check. Yeah, it's alright, I'm good. Yeah, I liked doing it. It took me only an hour. Because I decided, you know what, I haven't done basically any art all month. That's a lie. I did draw a sword back in the... I wrote an article about a sword, and so I drew that sword. Not very well, but I did draw it. But I was like, I would like to art. I would like to do art that is complicated. And so I knocked this out in an hour. The fact that it's sketchy and partially see-through means that you can ignore the imperfections as sketchy stuff, which is good. So I enjoyed working on this article. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, since I came up with the idea in the middle of the Minecraft stream. I'm just chilling out and I'm like, oh no, Dragon Lacrosse? It's not Dragon Lacrosse anymore, it's Dragon Handball. But, hey, close enough, right? And it meant I got to think about lacrosse again, which was, a fun little spice to my weekend. Just googling lacrosse, trying to figure out if my club still exists. It doesn't. My club shut down at some point. I would wager because no one does lacrosse. No one does lacrosse in this country. It is not a sport that we do. I didn't learn it existed until I was literally there. Yeah. Yeah! I think you liked it before it was in notifications, though. Because I remember hitting notify followers after you hit like, so I'm pretty sure you just spotted it. Because I put it in, Guild Showcase first, I think. I think I popped it in Guild Showcase, and I was like, here it is. Here it is. The best article I've done all month. And then I hit notify, because I was like, oh, I should notify. Because what else? Why not, honestly? What else is the point? I need to use the notifications for something. Morning, Space Trash! Good morning! How are you? I hope it has been a good day. I know sometimes it's not, but hopefully it's been a good day. But since I hit 25k, I now need to actually do another article. Just because I need something to do during streams, so I need to actually start another article. I don't remember which one I was supposed to start. Because before Dragon Lacrosse came up, I think I'd actually rolled an article on the character page. But I don't remember. Which is a little bit awkward. I honestly do not remember. I've also forgotten what articles I've already done. 12 articles last night, 12 very small articles. I mean, yeah, the small articles, they help fill it up. They're useful. Oh no, I already read that one. Oh. I've forgotten how days work. I was thinking of this article that I wrote before Christmas. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, then I don't have an article, which is why I have my D10 for dice rolling shenanigans. Because you can't have a D5, so you have to do a D10 instead. Or at least I don't have a D5. I'm pretty sure they don't exist, but I wouldn't know. One for each month, so that when people stumble across one of my weird conlang names, they can hover over and see what it means and which month it is. That is a good idea. Because I know the way that I usually do it is I'll, whenever I mention the year, like the year that an event took place in a certain half of the world, I'll actually link to the article about the calendar. So I'll be like, it happened in the 75th year of renewal. And that's like, what the hell does that mean? And I'll be like, there's a whole article about it. There's a table. I made a table. You can read about it. But I think that it has the months in that as well. But I'm like, it's fine. Usually I'll also put tooltips for like, this is how long ago it was. You can do the math if you need to. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Having that very like obvious bit. And I might do that, especially for the era system, just because it's kind of bullshit. It's kind of bullshit. Stand. I need the stand. No, not the converter. I need the standard. Most of them I could probably do an article for. Some of them don't have any events yet. I need to actually do those. But like, I should actually make an article for each of these. This one will be a pain in the ass, but that's, you know, it's linking. It's fine. So I might actually do that. Not tonight. Maybe I'll do that during January, just because I know that I'm going to forget events that occurred in a month, and so I'm going in an era even. So I'm gonna want to be able to go back and edit it. And the issue with the WorldEmber articles is that we don't get to edit them for like a month after we finish them, or after like December ends. The year ends and it's like, nah, can't touch your articles anymore. Come back to it later, and I'm like, oh, aww, make articles for the Brasin eras. That's a notice. That's a note. I have very bad notes. I can't even write good. I'm pretty sure that just says artids. It says artids, not articles. But luckily I can read my own handwriting, so we're all good. Drawing some art for your second to last article. Hope you're having a great day too. Hell yeah! Art is good. I might end up, like not this stream, but like over the next 2 days doing some art stuff. Since I'm like, if I hit my word count goal. Art is good, and I've been missing art for a bit. So I should do that. I'm on the wrong article now. But I think I should do at least one more article, just because I don't like being so close to 25k, considering that I think there's an article with like 300 words of BB code. For some reason. Because of like all the @links and shit. Because each @link adds like 5, at least. So I'm like, oh no. So I want to roll another one. So, it's the 5 tables, D10. That's a 1. Oh god. Oh no. We might end up not doing that, but we'll see what happens. I have a D8, right? Just in case they get a really bad country. I think all of these countries are actually not going to be good to write about, are they? Oh no. No, that won't work. That won't work. No, I'm gonna say no to I'm gonna veto country articles. I did that earlier as well. I've decided to veto country articles, so I only need to roll a d8 for the other 4 tables. That's another one. So now it's a character. Oh, Jesus. This is a bad system. How did I roll a 1 on both of them? Jesus. Clearly I didn't have to roll dice enough on Monday because we cancelled tabletop, and so now I get the luck. Oh, it rolled an 18, but field 18 doesn't exist anymore. Oops. Eh. No. I'm gonna veto that one too. God damn it, can you stop rolling numbers that don't exist anymore? Stop it. No, roll someone with a name. I can't write about Thursday this late in the month. God damn it. Boo. Give me... Why? Why do you do this? Bruh. You could at least roll a character with a name. And who doesn't have, like, an entire war fought over them. Or something. Shit, man. Dice are rude. I don't even know which of these characters I'd want to do. I feel like all of these characters have too much shit going on, or I don't have anything to say about them. There's only the 2 extremes. A lot or nothing. I'm like, ah, shit. Stop rolling Zunatooth and Curry. I'm not writing about Zunatooth and Curry. I also keep misspelling Zunatooth and Curry. Ah! God. I need to fix these tables so they stop having gaps, because it's clearly not going well. Hello? Can you roll a single digit, please? She's kind of doable. Because I've sort of already written about her? Kind of. I've kind of written about her. In this article. I've sort of written about the first empress. She's mentioned here. Not in a lot of detail, and I have more detail about her. But she's, you know, pseudo-historical, so it's like, well, she's not, but they think she's pseudo-historical. And with that, they're like, yeah, we think the first empress is a combination of, like, 6 different empresses. Like, ha 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 ha. It's very cute. She's definitely not. And by that I mean it's a single lady who was there for, like, I don't know, a couple thousand years, you know, casually. But, you know, whatever. So I did have more notes about her. I don't know where they are, though. No, I think I do know where they are. I don't think I have an article written down for her, though. Like an actual page yet. Which I probably should do. Empress? That'll give me a skilla. That's it? Really? No. Nope, doesn't seem like she has an article yet. Nope. Okay, I can write about her, I think. She's not too complicated, because she's, like, super dead. So you can only, you know, there's only so much that you can really say. Kids so far in the past, it's just like, yeah, we think she founded a kingdom. She's there from the birth of time. I don't know, man. Shit. Why'd I make it a quickie? That's silly. Shouldn't have done that. Should have just made it a green one, not a purple. That's silly. And then I think they're in here. I think there's notes about her in here. Not those notes. Wrong setting. Wrong setting's notes. That's also the wrong bit of the setting. Technically not, but she's in here. Yes. Now it's just a list of who died when. I mean, I do have that. That part. I didn't mention that, did I? No, I didn't. Semi-historical, mythical, or, you know, completely real, but we don't have evidence for them. I'm positive I have more notes about Mercy. Where are they? Probably in the shitty note taking, are they? Mercy? Not Murchie. Spelled correctly, please. That's the wrong. That's not it. That's Mercy spelt wrong. Because I'm speaking French there. For God's sake. That's old. Oof. I don't even know what that's about. What note is that? Oh. Oh, that note. Jesus Christ. Alright. Can I just... Will first Empress get her? There she is. There. That's literally it. It's the one thing. That's not a whole lot. I do not have a lot of notes about her. Oops. I'm gonna just copy this in though. Just gonna copy that in. Yay. Copy it out of the Discord into the WorldAnvil. Onto the screen that can be seen. Technically, oh Jesus. It's technically spoilery, but who cares? Shenanigans. That I didn't write down before. And she was the first Empress of Erisarel, and for 100 years. But the implication is that she'd been ruling the kingdom for way longer than that. But then, you know, things happened. So... What am I looking for? I think I'm looking for this. Let's open all the pages. Oh god. Because they start doing conquests during this chunk here, probably. So she stops getting mentioned about here-ish, because she's been casually offed by her relatives. And then, Archivis? Really? Okay. So she's like, you know, she's still here. It's only 53, so she probably founded the empire during this. Or possibly at the very start of that. Or it's a direct response to this. Maybe. Because they know when the empire started, they just don't know how far back the previous kingdom went. Because they're like, okay, so there's a kingdom of Erisarel, and then it becomes an empire. And the first empress of the empire is the same lady as the last queen of the kingdom, but we don't know how long she was queen for, or how long the kingdom existed. So we're just kind of, you know, oops. History, man. Archaeology's not great when there's magic involved and shit gets funky. I mean, bones look like bones. You can only really tell so much from the bones. Oh yeah, that is a weird note. Wait, was she the second last? I thought I had a difference. Whatever. Whatever. No, she was second last. First Empress of Erisarel. Last Queen of Predecessor Kingdom. Probably also called Erisarel. Is rumored to have reigned in the Empire for around 100 years. Around... Where's my converter? Where's my converter? Convert the Thrasan standard. Because if she dies somewhere in here, but I don't know when exactly. If it's 60, like, you know, like 20. It's like, I don't know, 720. Like, oh shit. God damn it. If you die somewhere around here-ish. Circa that. And so that would mean that if you go for like 800. Wow, they're both 23. Are you serious? Oh, but it's like a whole separate era backwards. I love when it does that. I love when it's nonsense. Kind of like it being mirrored, so we'll say that. And Empire, circa continuance. 820. 720. Doesn't have to die on 720, it's just like around 720. By her descendants, because conquest time. And yeah, it takes them 40 years to get down to the south, but like, you gotta take it slow, right? It's steady. Still, you know, violence, and that's not her thing. Like, it's explicitly not her thing. She does not do that. Oops. Oves lived since start of time-ish, but you know, theories. Theories. She founded it. There's so many A's. Deco. Yeah, well, in theory, being killed would disqualify you from being an immortal. In practice, it's not. That's not how that works. There really isn't that much, is there? Because it's literally just was Queen of Kingdom, founded empire, died at some point. Congratulations. And for being compassionate and friendly. The empire wasn't especially big during the time she is supposed to have been in charge, being only occupying space equiv to... Which country would that be equiv to? Which country is it equivalent to? Is it one that I've named, importantly? Is it a country that I've actually given a name to? Oh yeah, put that to load. Oh my god. 3 hours later, the map loads. This tends to happen a lot. The map isn't even that big. I wouldn't think. I think that's all the polygons, honestly. They're all of the polygons that I use in it that makes it take just so long. It took me like eyeballs. Map. Map. It's about... It's less than a meg. And then you combine it with the blank. It's less than 2 meg. So it's not that big. But it's all the okay, just still. It's all the polygons, and also the fact that I'm streaming. That's not helping. You're making this difficult for me. Oh god. Oh Jesus. Oh lord. Oh, you can remove. Hey! I made the countries come back. Oh, oh, this looks funky though, doesn't it? This looks wild. That looks weird. Oh god, just telling me that I need to do my map again. Well, it's, I think, probably equivalent to Nahum, but probably not in Nahum. Or it's the country that I haven't named. The other one. There's only, like, 2 of them left that I haven't actually named yet. I've done most of them. It's just, like, I think it's... Well, okay, it's like 6 of them, right? It's on here, right? 7. There's 7 of them I haven't named, and only 1 of them that matters for this question. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Croatia. I guess Nahum? Isn't it? Well, I guess it is basically in the right spot for Nahum. So, it's like, yeah. The country's name they're not pronounced correctly. Nahum. Nahum. Cunlaying is bad, don't do it. Nahum. In the northeast-ish area? Yes, okay. I know, right? They're great descriptions. Just, you know, chunky though. Here be dragon tamers. And then, you know, Croatia was up here somewhere. Yeah, Croatia. Why is it called Croatia? Don't worry about it. That article isn't public for a reason. I refuse to let people see that that's what the state of things is in the description of those countries. Even the ones that I actually know about, I'm pretty sure it's still written as like one of the first one. No, I didn't call it lesbian directly on this map. Oh, devastating. That's what it was though. These are incredible descriptions. There's like 2 of them that are correct, like proper. This isn't even actually true anymore. I changed that. It's not true anymore. Long boy. Bifurcating boy. Bifurcated boy. South Enclave boy. North Enclave boy. God. I'm an artist. And I have a way with words, I think. Maybe? I don't know. As long as I know what the countries are, that's what's the important part. Eventually that article will be public, but that is a can of worms I'm not dealing with. I can't even work on it for WorldEmber because there is significantly more than 50 words of BB code alone in that article because of all the tables. Like, it is entirely a map and then 2 tables. But one of the tables has like 50 rows, so there is no space. There is no space to reset the word count. I'm not deleting those tables in case something goes wrong when I put them back. It took me like 2 days to make those work. I'm not doing that again. Because I think I broke them using the WYSIWYG at some point, and I was like, oh shit. Oh no. Oh no, I made them with WYSIWYG and then they started breaking, and I was like, oh fuck. Oh no. So equivalent to Nahum. Did I actually write anything about Nahum? Because I haven't yet, have I? Yeah, just monarchy, former provinces. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. News about death. Killed by her descendants for blocking expansion. Just like old age and shit. Or not sure how else you could die as an immortal being. Kinda depends. Because I think I had, almost as a joke, one of the other primordials died in like a landslide. But they don't matter. So, yeah, it's like, one of them got assassinated. Another one got assassinated. Someone died in an avalanche. Vanished into the ether. Just, I don't even know what happened to you. Also assassinated, kind of. And then just, who knows? Like, it's to the point where, like, In theory, I should know because I'm like the creator and stuff, but also no one in the setting knows anything about any of these people. The exception is basically just the first empress, because she was the first empress of a conquering empire that basically defined like 2 centuries of life on the continent. So you kind of have to know something about them. Everyone else is just, who even knows? One of them was like, killed a dragon or something? Who knows, man? Like, she supposedly killed a dragon. She's here. And where they're like, well, in theory, she probably shouldn't be a primordial. It's like, it's fine. Listen, the myth is bullshit. We all understand that. It's all a bunch of nonsense that they've just made up to explain scattered references to an individual doing like wild stuff. Amazing feats of, you know, conquest. She didn't do that. She had nothing to do with that. Neither of them did. And then he died before he could do anything of that. Because, oops. Either by his wife or his sister. You know, who knows? It's a little weird. But it's fun. And this all started because of the immortal grandma in summer camp. She was fun. You know, she's one of them, but no one knows that, so she's not on the article. That's a secret. That's a secret. Which is also like the only character article with no age given. So I feel like that already on its own implies something's up with how old she is. She's given no concrete birth year. She's still alive. No dates for anything is given on her article. It's just like, who are you? What is your deal? And she's like, listen, man, I'm chilling. And I was in there because I was looking for Avalanche, right? Because he did Avalanche it once. One time, Avalanche done happened. Because, like, what happened around that time is the issue. I'm saying, like, 23 Redemption. Nothing happens in Redemption until shit breaks. So I don't really know what that would be. Like, what else could have possibly killed her in this era of the world history? That said, that is, like, 1,000 years ago. Just, like, 800s BC kind of shit. So it's like, you know, what? Anything could have killed you. Cholera, you know? You just catch the plague really casually. It wasn't the plague, but, like, you know, cholera. It's always cholera in the end. One assumes. Disease. I guess that's old age and shit. Who knows? Hello, Gift of Gabby! Good morning, or afternoon. I don't know which time zone you're in. A good time zone. It's a good time zone. How have you been? How has your day been? How goes the world building and the writing and such? Had a bad nosebleed. That's it. You know, like in that era, you could basically have a nosebleed and everyone around you goes, "Oh no, our monarch has caught the case of Big Dead," and then they do bloodletting and then you just die. Anything could have happened. Morning at 6:33. That is way too early in the morning. That's way too early in the morning. What's that? American West Coast? Like Cali and such? Not necessarily Cali in specific, but like Western time. I don't know what the time zone is for West Coast. Like, I don't know what its actual, like, name is. I'm just like, it's West Coast. It's not Mountain Time, that's the one next to it. It could be Mountain Time, but who knows. Oh, Central. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, you're sick and can't go back to sleep. Or go to sleep at all. Damn. That sucks, Gabby. It's not a good time for it. Being woken up is just like, it's awful. This is not fun. Most people don't like to be up at 6 AM even voluntarily. Like, I keep staying up until 5, and that's a mistake that I need to stop making. That's awful every single time. Ah, jeez. Ah, jeez. There is not a lot of notes about this character, is there? Oops. This was maybe a bad idea. It doesn't have to be a long article, it needs to be an article. So I was positive I had more notes about this character, and then apparently I didn't. So apparently not. I need to, like, organize my notes on my Discord. It's a mess in there. Ah, article showcase! Yes! This is good. This is good. This is the better way to spend my time. 4 AM talking about the education system and the etymology of some stuff with a couple of Germans in a poll. Oh no. Honestly, mood. It happens. It happens. I mean, half the time Minecraft stream I go into 4 AM and I'm like, oh shit. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'll be chatting to friends and just like, it's been 7 hours. Oops. But we're gonna do an article showcase, because that is what it's there for. To read other people's articles. This is Gabby's article about the Warforged. Ooh, interesting. Oh, I like lifespan. As long as they don't fall apart. I like that, just off the bat. I love that. So, the Warforged were not all created for war, so the name is a bit of a misnomer. They were called this by non-drow races because of their times they went to war with dwarves under drow control. Okay. I'd possibly go just the times rather than their times. So they're called this by non-drow races because of the times they went to war with dwarves under drow control. Some were created as entertainers, miners, and construction workers. Dancers were the most common Warforged after warriors. Adventuring types of Warforged tend to be... Hold on, the plurals are on the wrong spot. Adventuring types of Warforged tend to be fighters, rangers, and wizards. Few choose to... Right, yeah. Few choose to be religious, so paladins, clerics, and monks are rare, and warlocks even more so, due to their former master's affinity for them. Mages of all types are well respected. I need to add to it. I don't know what though. Okay, alright. Well, I'll read through it and then I'll see what things might add a little more to it. And then bards and other charismatic warforged tend to be sent out as diplomats, not diplomates, diplomats, and adventurers to improve their image. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Right, warlocks are rare because of drow stuff. Okay. I'm not familiar enough with D&D, so I have to just kind of do some, like, little bit of math in my head. It's not math, but it's like, you know, jumping around a little. Okay, so civilization and culture, their naming traditions. So usually their names are their warrior type or whatever they were created for, plus a number. Plus their number make. Right. So example being Archer 1734 or Dancer 129. Some choose new names based on what they strive to be. I like that. I do like that little touch. Major organizations. The City of Diamonds is the most common place to find Warforged. Many also choose to be adventurers, sell swords, and traveling entertainers, in particular dancers. The City of Diamonds is run by a council of 10 Warforged. Any ties are broken by the eldest Warforged. Right, okay. Took me a second. Yeah, okay. Council of 10, and then any ties in the vote, the eldest gets like 2 votes. That makes sense. Courtship ideals. Courtship is rare for Warforged, but Warforged who find love give an item of a practical nature and declare their romantic intentions. If they accept the gift, they are now a couple. Right, Warforged Lord and Candidate is very different to your Homebrew Red. That makes sense. I feel like, considering the way the article started, that makes a lot of sense. Since you're going, like, the opening was, they're not all used for war. So that makes complete sense. Oh, that's totally fine. Like, it's just a matter of... Sometimes some of it is just a spell check bit. But I can understand most of it. Sometimes I have to reread a sentence just because of my brain jumping ahead. My brain's going somewhere else and then I have to bring it back. It's a whole mess. Sometimes. For me. Sometimes I'm the mess. Yeah, no, I can understand that. It can be rough to write. So they don't usually court, but when they are in love, they give an item of rare of a practical nature and declare their intentions, and if they accept, they're now a couple. Okay. They tend to value their comrades of the same profession and view them as their family. Friendships and allies are taken very seriously by Warforged. Okay. Major languages. Common and Underdark are their starting languages. Yep. Wrong there, and it says language. It's languages. Languages. Dress code. They dress only for uniforms for jobs, armor for adventurers, and comfort of other races. Right, okay. So they basically only wear clothes because people expect them to. And otherwise they'll wear an armor, the uniform if they have to, and armor if they're, out. That makes sense. So, Warforged celebrate their Liberation Day. They string streamers across the streets and suspend candles and lanterns over them. A 12-hour party ensues, followed by 12 hours of meditation and deep self-reflection. Ooh, interesting. I do like that. And then common taboos. Those who take the same job as they were made for without at least trying a different job are very looked down upon, as people who don't appreciate freedom. This is most common for warriors who can't settle into civilian life, or entertainers who enjoy the life tend to do so more than other Warforged types. Okay. So, the types of Warforged who are least likely to try different jobs are warriors and entertainers. So craftspeople tend to be more adventurous in the sense of trying different stuff. But because fighting is so different from, just creating stuff, Warforged find it hard. And then entertainers just are having too much fun to bother trying something else. I'm assuming that's the kind of the vibe, if I'm understanding that correctly. I hope I'm understanding that correctly. And then there's the history, which is Warforged as a race were created by Drow to supplement... Wait, yeah. Okay, yeah, cool, I got it. Yay! I understood it. Yay! So given that warriors and entertainers are the most common type of Warforged, it does seem kind of weird to me that it would be a taboo to not try different jobs, since by the amount of warriors and entertainers that there are, most of them probably haven't tried other jobs. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that correctly. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I definitely understand why people would look at it a bit... Really? You didn't try anything else? You're just doing exactly what you were made for? But... I don't know, there's a little bit of... Possibly something that could be explored there. Since that... I assumed that, entertainers and warriors were the most common. I assumed they were a majority. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's even if you combine those two sections, it's still only 20% or 30% of all Warforged something. I don't know. So as a race, they were created by Drow to supplement to their slave populations as mindless slaves who couldn't revolt. However, slowly over centuries as a whole started... Yeah, the warriors and entertainers are the most common. Okay, yeah. But I guess most common doesn't mean that most of the warriors are doing it. Just that if someone isn't going to try a different job, they're going to most likely be a warrior entertainer. Okay, that makes sense. I had to do... I'm not smart. I'm not smart. I have to think about things. Yeah, Okay, now I'm back to the sentence again. So, however, slowly over centuries as a whole started waking up or becoming aware, and revolted and took over the city of diamonds and called it their own. Okay. The phrase as a whole is tripping me up in this sentence, I think. In the second one of history. I assume that, like, it's like, however, slowly over the centuries, Warforged as a whole. So, like, all of the Warforged started waking up or becoming aware. But because it's missing the word Warforged in between centuries and as, it kind of took me a second. I'm assuming that's what it means. Drawing it would be super cool. Drawing it would be extremely cool. Any art is good. Yeah, okay, awesome, alright. So that might need a little, you might need to just add, over the centuries, Warforged as a whole. Because then it reads a little bit clearer. They also kicked out the Drow, all except the Eilistray, worshipping Drow, as they were kind to the Warforged. Some dwarves moved there when a stronghold fell and was given space in their city. Okay. Got it. While Warforged, like any species, feel a drive to reproduce, and while they love and care for their offspring, their reasoning for it is often more practical. The needs of the community are taken into consideration. Often, Warforged need to replace dips in their population due to ongoing conflicts with the Drow, or they need to increase the strength of their community for other reasons. Yeah, alright. Okay. I'm not sure if that would go under history, but I do understand why it's there. And then there's the list of the relationships. So like so with the dwarves, they view each other as hard-working noble races. They have major trading and cultural ties due to long-standing alliances. And the most common setting place for wandering Warforged is dwarven cities. Okay, so if they're not in the City of Diamonds, they'll be in a dwarven stronghold somewhere. Humans view them as a cold race, and Warforged view them as short-sighted. Ooh, interesting. Elves tend to view them as Elves tend to view them with unnatural and alarming creations, and are hostile upon meeting one, while Warforged view them as overcautious, superstitious folk. I think instead of with here, in the elves tend to view them with, I would possibly change that to as. So elves tend to view them as unnatural and alarming creations. Since that's what the Warforged are. They are unnatural and alarming. I think that makes sense. Halflings. Warforged find them kind and generous. Halfling view them as odd but kind. Fairly simple. Nose. Due to their adventurous natures, they tend to get along. Hell yeah. Half-elves. Are cautious of Warforged, but not as repulsed by them as full elves. Warforged view them as overcautious, much like elves, but since they don't tend to be actively hostile, they tolerate half-elves. Alright, that makes sense. Half-orcs. They both tend to view each other with sympathy, due to both frequently are being harassed. Yeah, so due to both of them being frequently harassed. They're both frequently being harassed. The R isn't needed in that one. So it's just frequently being, not frequently are being. And then Dragonborn. Dragonborn are Wolf and Warforged are indifferent towards each other as they rarely meet. Yep, that makes sense. Tiefling. They tend to both be skeptical of each other, but when they get to know each other, they tend to make the fiercest friends. Aw, that's cute. And then Asmar, or Asmar, I don't know how to pronounce Asmar, sorry. And now I'm just saying ASMR. Oops. ASMR tend to view them in a negative way because of their race's creation by Drow. Right, okay. And then goblinoids and kobolds. Scary monsters is how most goblinoids feel about Warforged. Warforged view them as a menace. Okay. So there's a lot of different levels, like whether they get along or not super fond of them or actively hostile. Obviously, dwarves aren't mentioned here, but you know, we file them under elves, and we're like, yeah, no, they're not friends. Warforged and elves do not get along. Okay, so what could be added to it if we want to add more stuff? Sorry, it's very soft-spoken. It can't whisper in your ear while making weird sounds. Oh no! I just start going. Sorry, that probably sounds awful. I can't do ASMR. I have an inbuilt microphone. I think it's there. I don't actually know. It's going. I'm just like tapping a bunch of stuff. I just do that. That's my ASMR. Just I twist the Rubik's Cube. ASMR. My ASMR video is just me solving a Rubik's Cube very slowly. Ah, jeez. So what else could be kind of expanded on? Oh yeah. There's always exceptions for individuals within a like race or culture, but the broad strokes is as written. That's the general vibe. Most humans view them as cold, and then you know if you get to know them, you might not think that, but that's their base impression for most people, and that's fine. Like that's totally cool. Like that completely makes sense. That is the general vibes, and I think I get it. I don't think about things you could add. I don't know what goes in the ethnicity template, so I can never remember any of that, to be honest. I think because the main thing that I notice is the fact that there's not a shit ton, but there's like, they're fairly short, like 1 or 2 sentences per section, and that means it's like header, sentence, header, sentence, header, sentence. So possibly combining a couple would look better. It would scan a little better, in addition to like running it through a spell check a little bit for a couple of the typos. That every typo is like, everyone has typos. Everyone needs to run their articles through spell check. I also need to do that. I need to do that more because I can't spell. Like I'd possibly like combine the courtship and relationship section, possibly both under relationship. So like you'd have relationship, they tend to value their comrades, and then underneath that, courtship is rare, kind of thing. Imagine like a lot of elves like hissing cats towards them, makes them like laugh, like. Oh boy. Oh, that's great. That's an awesome mental image that I have now. Oh, that's excellent. What else would I do? I'd also possibly move this bit about the languages to the sidebar. Since it is just, like, there isn't a lot to say about it, it's just they know Common and Underdark. It would probably go better in the sidebar. Does that make sense? Because then it's just like, very simple, up front, and then there it is, you know? I guess? What else? Yeah. Like you can basically take a couple of the sections where you don't have a lot to say, and you can move it to the sidebar. Because then there won't be so many headers in the main body of the article. It'll read a little bit better. Because when there's a lot of headers, it feels awkward to read, like stop, start, stop, start. So if you can move a couple of the short ones to the sidebar and combine a couple of them, it will read a little better. I think. In general, that's the way that I tend to read anyway. It feels a bit better when there's like a little, like, they're a little chunky. I don't know. I can't think of anything to add. I'm not the best for that. Got relationships with their history. I think part of my issue is I don't actually know what a Warforged looks like. Whereas, like, I can assume that other people who would be reading it would actually know what a Warforged looks like. I actually don't. So I'm just gonna Google that real quick. Just so I can make sure that I'm on the level. Because, like, I have an idea of what I assume they look like, but I feel like I need to actually see it. Okay, that is literally just like a dude in armor. It's just an armored dude. Well, that's what that one looks like anyway. Possibly then, what I might do, what you could do for the article is, explain what a Warforged is like typically made out of. I don't know, maybe some of them, because they're made for different tasks, are made out of different stuff. So like, you know, the warrior Warforged tend to be made out of metals and such, whereas the dancers tend to be made out of wood or something. Cheaper ones made out of wood, expensive ones metals, etc. Just so I can get you can get like a stronger picture of what Warforged look like in your setting. Oh, and a hydrate. Yep. Sweet water. Oop. I got my headphones. No. They go everywhere. Ah, shit. I'll put them everywhere. Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that's missing is a description of what a Warforged looks like. Even though I imagine most people do know what they look like. If someone isn't as familiar with D&D's specific, like, species setup, it doesn't hurt to have a little description. Especially if they differ in any way. And like, especially because you have non-warrior Warforged, they will have a different general appearance, I would think, because they're made for a different purpose. So like, you know, the warrior ones would be more like, would tend to be like larger, made out of metal, you know, broad-shouldered kind of stuff. Whereas your dancer ones would be like more lithe. That's a really bad word to use, but like more like nimble and such, because they're meant to dance and be flowy. And so I think adding something about that could be useful. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Unless it's explained somewhere else, because I wouldn't know. Excellent, we're combining a few. Yes! That reads immediately way better, because I hit like and now it's refreshed. This immediately looks better when it's got less headers. I like that a lot. That looks a lot better like that. Yeah. I hope that helps. Like any of that little bits of feedback help. Because I'm not great at feedback, but I try to, you know, say something. Words is good. Worst comes to it, you add something and you look at it later and go, nah, and you just remove it. So why not? But it was nice to read it was nice to read a species article. Because I'm not good at species articles. I'm very bad at them, actually. They're probably my least favorite template to write, but they're really good to read. Because everyone has like cool ideas of like how their species operate, or like they have unique creatures, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. And then I write about like crabs that poop diamonds, and I'm like, okay. That was a good article, like my crab one, I mean, but it's like, ugh. It was awful to actually write it. I do not like writing species, but I like reading them. And I like the way that your Warforged differ from the default that D&D has, which is neat. Yay. And then I alt-tab back to this note mess. Oh god. My note mess. Oh dear. I'm just burping Skittles now. This is a nightmare. I guess, well, step one. Step one. We'll fill out the bits of the template. God damn it, fucking paper cut. We'll fill out the bits of the template. I don't know how this works. I don't remember how that looks. I know where it goes. I just like don't know what it looks like. Hello. Hello. Data press. Ah, okay, cool. Why is my keyboard in US? I thought I specifically chose UK when I installed Windows on the new Dell station. Damn you, US! Damn you! I'm pretty sure mine's set to US. No, mine's Australian, but I had to do that deliberately. I still have US on here because it's always US. Always. Pretty much every computer just goes, it's US by default. It's like, why? Or if it's not US by default, the US keyboard is always installed anyway. Like, it's always there. I can't remove it. I have so many other keyboards. Like, I have the Australian keyboard, which is technically the US keyboard anyway. Then I have the UK keyboard, because I needed diacritics. I have a Japanese keyboard still. Don't know why I still have that. Then I have the Estonian for writing all the umlauts. I have a Gaelic keyboard that I don't think actually works properly, or I don't know the key combinations to make it work. And then I have the US keyboard. I'm like, why? There's no difference. Oz US and US are the same. It's weird. Art done, article done, internet keeps dying. Looking for a bit. Happy writing. Hell yeah. Boo internet, but woo completion and getting things done. That's the good stuff. Oh, this isn't gonna display properly. Uh-oh, I can't do that. Oh no, how do I make it do the thing that I need to do? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I can't make it do what I want it to do. Oopsies. I have to do it myself. Ugh. Gross. Because you don't... There's not like a year of death default. Like, tab to put it in. So I'm gonna have to do that myself. Year of death. Approximately. Link to the calendar. Calend. Here's your keyboards. Now you just have Estonian, UK, and Danish. And you put a fourth one in as well. Get rid of the pesky US. Hell yeah. Ah! Good morning, Dinosaur Bob! Well, thank you for the subscription! Ah! 6 months! Woo! Woo! God, I've been streaming for 6 months? Good lord. It has been a year. It has been a hell of a year. Wowie. Approximately, when did I say? 23? 23 continuance. No, redemption. Redemption. Approximately redemption. There we go. I have it now. Ah, jeez. Oh, God. It has been a long 6 months. But it's been a good 6 months, just like in general, for streaming. It's been fun. And also extremely hectic. And I'm looking forward to doing art streams in January. Because I'll be taking time off to stop doing writing, and I'll be like, it's time to art. It's time to draw. You don't get a say in the matter. Art will happen. Which means you'll get to see the chaos of me trying to deal with 2 monitors again. That's gonna be a mess. I had to fix my tablet settings for something because it was broken as hell, and I was like, oh god. They keep breaking. Every time. If you sneeze at your computer, Wacom just starts losing its mind. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. Thanks. Thanks, Wacom. Wacom. You can't see my tablet, but it's over on the bed over there. It is a disgusting mess. It is not good. It is not a good place to be. There's an Xbox controller over there. I don't even know what to do with that. I think I was gonna try and play Titan Souls with that, but I don't remember. I think I bought the controller to play Skyrim, but I play Skyrim with a keyboard, so that's a little bit weird. This is my sister did not like keyboards. He's like, please buy me a controller so I can play Skyrim with a controller on PC. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy you an Xbox controller then. Cheaper and easier. So I just have one of those. He's a mess. There's a mess over there. Ah, raiders! Raiders! Ah! Stay true! Stay true, raiders. Welcome. Hope you all had a lovely time with Siobhan, and that you were either productive or had fun. Productivity can be fun too, but you know, those are the two options. At least those two. There was at least those two options. So good morning, James, Dazzly, Siobhan. Hope you've all had lovely days so far. Yay! 471 words. Nice! That is a good amount of words. I've gotten apparently 200 words, but these are all notes. So I have not actually written anything currently. I have not actually written any words properly in the hour that I've been live so far. But that's par for the course, to be honest. It tends to happen a lot. I'm just gonna close a couple tabs. Almost all of these tabs are just for this article. Like, I'm writing it here, I'm looking at it here, I picked it up here. It's this character's, right, this is the timeline, this is the country. Then there's just, you know, Dragon Goal. Which is the cool article that I have. Which reminds me, now that I have it open. Sneaky self-promotion. Read my article about Dragon Handball. Please? That's not a demand, obviously, no duh. But like, I liked that article. I had fun writing this article about Dragon Handball. So, sneaky self-plug, self-promotion. I've done like no self-promotion all month. I get to have this. Sneaky plug, I liked my article about Dragon Handball, so I'm sharing it. And I'm still mad that I couldn't call it Dragon Ball. I can't call it Dragon Ball, so I had to call it Dragon Goal, and I was like, damn it. Ugh, devastating. You somehow managed 3,500 words during last night's NFL game, and you broke 40k. Nice. 40k is damn impressive. Like, I broke 25 yesterday. I'm not gonna get any higher than that, to be honest. Like, I'll get this article and that'll probably be it. So, like, maybe 26, if I'm lucky. But that's par for the course, honestly. I would have written more if we hadn't nanoed. Siobhan got 1,149. There were over 2 articles and neither are complete. But it's progress. And as long as you finish them before the end of the month, you get all the good points. Yeah, it would conflict with Dragon Ball Z just a little bit if I called my fantasy sport Dragon Ball. I was like, damn it. Bastard. It was devastating when I figured that out. Pretty sure there's a Twitter exchange where I was like, I wish I could call it I wish I could call it the obvious name, but I can't. So I was like, you should call it Dragon Ball. Wait, shit. We're all just having the realization at the same time, because we can't call it Dragon Ball. Ah! So I called it Dragon Goal instead. I figured it was short enough. I mean, yeah, you could call it Dragon Balling. I don't feel like that. I don't know. Like it could have worked, but I've stuck with Dragon Goal for the minute just because it you know, it's close enough. It conveys that it's a sport at the very least. Like you see Dragon Goal and you're like, ah, sport. Dragon Ball. Ah, yes, Dragon Ball. There's no balls. There's only nets. Call it Dragon Net. But then everyone will be like, computers? I'm like, damn it. It's a little more original. Dragon Ball could work if there were bowls, but there are no bowls in any form of the word bowl. Like, I don't think any meaning of the word bowl is present in the game of Dragon Goal. Even though bowl would work as a pun. No, they're not bowling. Like, the meanings of bowl, there's bowls as in, like lawn bowls. when you're doing like the weird shit that old people do, bowls. Dragon Goal, nothing like that. There's bowling, like 10-pin bowling. Nah. There's bowl as in like a piece of like cutlery. No. Bowl as in like a dust bowl. Oh, I guess Super Bowl. I forgot. I'm not American. We don't tend to use bowl in that context here in Australia. At least I can't think of any time that bowl has been used to mean tournament in Australia. I think we always use it more literally than that. So in hindsight, bowl could have worked, I think. But the issue is that I'm big Aussie dum-dum, and I went very literal with the word bowl. I'm gonna have to Google that. Cause like, now that I've remembered, like, yeah, of course, but I've never used it. Yeah, okay, so it's a stadium for sporting events. Yeah, now that's an Aussie term. We don't use it. We don't, that's an American term even. We don't use it for that. We do not use the word bowl in that context, unfortunately. I feel like Dragon Ball would be the Dragon Goal tournament though, not the game itself. I don't know. Yeah. That makes sense, because I did kind of go into like, yeah, the stadium's kind of bowl-shaped, but the stadium isn't really bowl-shaped. Like, I don't think it would be particularly bowl-shaped. Like, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I didn't draw the stadium. For now, it's Dragon Goal. I can change it later if I have to. Ah, yeah, reference to the stadium, not the game itself. That makes sense. That makes sense. We don't do that. We don't call stadiums bowls here. As much, I wouldn't think. Because most of them are cricket grounds. So most of them are like CGs. Like, we have the Melbourne Cricket Ground, it's just the MCG. We don't call it the bowl. It is just the MCG. We call them by their names. But anyway, we have showcases to do. So I need to actually open them. So I don't forget. I'm gonna open both of them. Come on. There we go. College football started naming special games. Sugar Bowl in Louisiana, Rose Bowl in California, Cotton Bowl in Texas, and now Super Bowl! And then Bowl became special game. And then Super Bowl! And now we have sport. But I completely forgot. I forget that the Super Bowl exists until, like, the day before it happens. Like, I don't remember it exists. And like, I mean, like in the closest equivalence of similar kinds of sport in Australia is the Australian Open, that's cricket, and then just the AFL Grand Final, which is what it says on the tin, the Australian Football League Grand Final. We don't call anything bowls, so maybe they do it in rugby, but I don't follow rugby. Oops. Okay. The rugby fans will come for me. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. How long is this article? Not that long. Cool. You have to check. Just had to check. But now, we will get away from Super Bowl and football and footballs to it's the biggest indoor eating day in the US, bigger than Thanksgiving. It's the day of advertising and eating nice dinner. That's what Super Bowl is. And in Australia, it's the day of just being confused. That's what it is. Okay, so this is Bob's article, The Travelling Troupe. And it's our second article showcase for the evening. So, we'll start with this quote. Wonderful folk of Spudbarrow, it is with great pleasure that I am here to announce that the Travelling Troupe has returned once more to entertain you all. Prepare yourselves for new wonders, new tales of old times, and what is, by now, old tales of new times. Alania and I will be performing in the town square later this afternoon, and in the Three Leaves Inn when the sun goes down. Corella's got some new goblin songs for the kids to learn, and Kildrim will be leading the Dwarven Tavern sing-along at the Three Leaves tonight as well. Tomorrow, Is it Mistro or Maestro? I'm assuming I'm supposed to be reading it as Maestro, but maybe it's Mistro. Tomorrow, Mistro's imaginary menagerie will astound you all as he fills the town square with the strange beasts of the frozen Southlands, far beyond the empty sea. But it can be death there. Mistro. Okay, cool. Awesome. And old Estremont will have tales to tell of the glorious days long before the Great Strife, including new tales you may never have heard before of your favorite hero, Philaberry Hopesinger. We'll be here 2 days, and we have much to show and share with you. I hope you are ready to be entertained. And that's Andreas Highcastle announcing the arrival of the traveling troupe. Ooh. No dinner, finger food for hour after hour. More chicken and wings consumed on Super Bowl Sunday than any other day of the year. I respect that. I respect that. That's just great. Ah, jeez. Okay. So, whenever the carriage of marvelous wonders rolls into the town square, folk know they are in for a day or two of fantastic entertainment. Twice a year, the painted wagon's appearance heralds the arrival of the traveling troupe, a group of talented performers that travel the Feywood bringing news of the outside world, hints of exotic, far-off people and places, and, most of all, a 2-day break from the monotony of daily life. Structure. There is no formal structure to this troupe of performers. Whenever a major decision is required, the entire troupe discusses and votes on a course of action. Most of the time, though, the troupe looks toward its founder, Andreas Hightower, and often Alania Altuliel as well, for wisdom and guidance. I need to read before I read. I need to read words and then say them out loud. Culture. Every member of the troupe is, first and foremost, an entertainer. Their main goal in life is to perform for crowds and have those crowds enjoy their efforts. Simple as. Public agenda. If the traveling troupe has any agenda at all, it is to bring entertainment, relief from boredom, a ray of sunshine into the lives of those who dwell in the villages and towns along their route. Simple as. Simple goals, simple means. Assets. The principal asset of the traveling troupe is the customized covered wagon that serves as their rolling home away from home as they make their 2 circuits per year throughout the Feywood. They are on the road, living in the wagon that many now call the Coach of Marvelous Wonders, for approximately 10 months out of each year. Oof. This coach, and the 4 horses that pull it, and the mundane cooking and camping gear that the troupe relies upon to eat and survival on the road, are the only things that are formally group-owned. The members of the troupe are responsible for their own performing gear, costumes, musical instruments, and the like, though there are a few larger props that are effectively troupe-owned. Fair enough, seems reasonable. The travelling troupe was formed when Andreas Highcastle, an adventuring bard at the time, decided to hang up his adventurer's boots and take up the life of a travelling musical performer. Go away, fly. It was in the winter months of the year 2161 CR that he first discussed this with his good friend and fellow performer, Alania You spelled her name differently each time. Which way is it spelled? Because you spelt it as Altuliel up here with an A, and then you spelt it as Eltuliel with an E here. This isn't helping my inability to read. Yeah. It's Alania, and then it's L, or is it Altuliel? So in Canada we have cups. Stanley Cup, Grey Cup. Yeah. I think we do something similar sometimes, but that makes a lot of sense. And you're on your way to bed, just so that... Hi, Sable, and then good night. Sleep well. So Alania Eltuliel in the Meadows End Tavern, where they were both working as performers at the time. As soon as the weather permitted travel, the two began tracking down other performing acquaintances they had made in their earlier lives, and by midsummer of 2162 CR, the troupe had reached the membership it has today. So it didn't take them very long. It took them like a year and a half. The last edition, Mistro the Illusionist, was added in the Feywood town of Dryad Falls, and it was his idea that the troupe continue to travel the Feywood. The deeper parts of the forest were getting more settled and civilized each year, and the people were badly in need of interesting entertainment and diversions. Just the thing for the traveling troupe to provide. Altuliel. Okay, gotcha. They sound similar enough that I wasn't totally off base when reading it as L. Like, I totally understand why that mistake wouldn't have been made. And so, using the funds that Andreas, Alania, and several of the others had amassed in their earlier adventuring and performing careers, they purchased and customized the large wagon they would be living in, and set out on the road. They have been traveling the Feywood circuit ever since. Thank you one and all. On behalf of Alania and all the rest, I would like to express our deepest gratitude for the welcome you have given us every time we roll into your town, and our heartfelt appreciation for giving us the opportunity to bring our songs to your ears, our wonders to your eyes, and our joy to your hearts. We look forward to being back here in 7 months' time. Your Strawberry Festival is a high point that we ourselves look forward to throughout the long winter. Until we return, may your crops and beasts be bountiful, your homes be safe and warm, and your hearts and minds filled with wonder at the beauty of the world. Farewell, until next time. Whee! That's Andreas the Bard thanking the crowd at the end of the last performance before moving on. And then up here was just a list of the leaders, or of the members. And so clearly you're slowly working through those. Because you got a couple of them. So it's the Andreas the Bard, Corella the Goblin Songbird, Kildrim the Warbling Dwarf, the Amazing Mistro, Alania the Songstress, Estremont the Old, Teller of Tales, Dorianetta the Dancer, and Daggertrip the Tumbler. Nice! I like that. I like a fun troupe of rowdy performers. They're always fun. And they add a little bit of, you know, whimsy, I guess, to settings. They're great. I like them. And I like their wagon as well. I like their wagon. And I like the amount of detail you put into each of the quotes from Andreas. He's nice. I like it. I do need to drink now because those were a lot of long sentences. Whoo! Goddamn. Now I know how it must feel to read anything I write. Oh boy. Sentences. Commas. The coach was your vehicle that brings joy from summer camp. Ah, hell yeah. And it's been needing occupants, and then the advent calendar prompt came along. Excellent. That's the good stuff. When you can bring it all together. That's great. I love that. I love tying that back in. Okay. And now it is... Oh, Jesus. That is a rough trigger warning to immediately scroll down into. Oof. How bad is it? Siobhan? How bad is it going to be? Oof. Oh, jeez. Like, oh. Oh, heavens. Mostly, okay, mentioned mostly not scripted. Okay, cool. Good, alright. Just wanted to make sure. Because I remember the Red Caps article being pretty hardcore. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, God. Panic. Ooh, you have a plot you're working on today for the next few game sessions. They're going to be meeting the troupe and possibly getting useful information from them. Ooh, nice. You're bringing it into the game world. That's the good stuff. I love it. I love bringing it all together. Okay, so now that we've gone from Whimsy, let's go all the way to the other end of the spectrum and not be in Whimsy Town anymore. Because we are now reading Siobhan's article, Birth of the Red Caps, which is, I assume, is it... No, okay, it's not a advent calendar myth, it's just a myth. Oh yeah, of course it is, because it's definitely not going to be a love story. Oh boy! This is the Birth of the Red Caps, which has the trigger warning for rape and violence. For anyone who's not looking at the screen. It should be okay, but we'll see what happens. So, it was many millennia ago, even before the unending war, when the Redcaps emerged. The actual history of how it happened has been lost, though through our story. Though through our stories, we believe we have an idea. It was back when humans were still a new species on Corrigenda. Corrigenda? The leprechauns used to craft glorious pools all the Fae could enjoy. Sometime after the humans arrived, they discovered these pools, and, when no one was around, they began taking the gold dust out of them. We started to see a decline in the leprechaun population. After many years of this, it was reported that a new leprechaun mother and her midwife went to one of the pools to discover a group of humans scooping out the gold. It was sometime after this when the pools were abandoned and the redcaps began to appear. Some say they were odd leprechauns, while others believe they were created by the humans using the leprechaun gold. All we know for certain is that the redcaps and the leprechauns really do not get along. That's an elven scholar to young elves on the oral traditions of the Fae. So, summary. It is believed by many of the Fae that the redcaps and leprechauns may once have been the same. No one knows for certain yet. Yet the animosity between the two lends credence to this belief. Neither the redcaps nor the leprechauns will talk about it. Many have begun speculating about the caps. Are they worn by the redcaps in a mockery of the leprechaun's choice of green hats and headbands? Oh, gotta look on the sidebar. I forgot that's what the red cap looks like. Ah, jeez. Oh, boy. Historical basis. During the time before humans, leprechauns crafted their pools out of natural hot springs. All were welcome to use them. Once the humans came, it wasn't long before the gold dust lining the pools caught their attention. Over the years, they removed the gold from the pools in secret. Once the theft was detected, the leprechauns gathered up what little dust remained and abandoned the pools. For the next century, they searched for a place to craft new pools with no luck. During this time, their numbers began to dwindle as their young died during childbirth. Those who did not were born with defects. Most of these defects were physical. All those who survived childbirth were raised as members of leprechaun society. It wasn't until later that it was noticed the young ones without visible physical problems had mental defects. These young leprechauns turned to bullying others. They refused to eat vegetables, choosing to only eat meat. They were fertile as well, and took their pleasure where they wanted. Many young leprechauns suffered at the hands of these brutes. When these atrocities were discovered, the violent ones were banished from leprechaun society. Unable to find a safe location to craft their birthing pools, the leprechauns decided to build an entire hidden chamber system. Though they barely had any gold dust to craft 2 pools, this is what they did. With the balance restored, or so they thought, they returned to their way of life. Those who had been banished declared themselves redcaps. Their numbers were not large. They began kidnapping young leprechauns to use in their breeding program. These leprechauns were less than people to the redcaps. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They were chained up in dark holes, no sight of the sky, and used relentlessly. Whenever one escaped or tried to, all the rest were beaten for the transgression. These leprechauns were rarely seen again. If they were, it was their beaten and deformed bodies. Oof. Oh boy. Oh boy. The newly formed redcaps took pleasure in causing pain. They began dipping their green hats in the blood of those they beat. When the red blood didn't show the way they wanted it to, they took to wearing white hats. With their new white hats, they declared the only way to redden it was with the blood of others. Was in the blood of others, sorry. Reddening it in one's own blood was akin to a death sentence in the early days. If you weren't capable of spilling another's blood, what use were you to the community? Over many centuries of breeding, they developed an acute sense of smell. Their bodies began to reflect the brutal nature of their upbringing and society, becoming more muscular and with an increased endurance of pain. After about 400 years, they stopped kidnapping leprechauns. They had enough to last them for centuries. Oh boy! Oh! Jeez, that's rough. They became bored with raping helpless individuals. They wanted a challenge when breeding, so they, Jesus. And rape of their own kind. Now it was a challenge, one that would involve combat. The redcaps disliked the leprechauns for banishing them to fend for themselves, an animosity which has not dwindled over the centuries. The leprechauns refuse to acknowledge the origins of the redcaps. It is a humiliation from the past they would altogether prefer to forget. Oh god, wouldn't we all? Ooh. Oh boy. That's rough. That is pretty rough. So the historical tales about them are basically on point. They're just missing a couple of details about the specifics. The specifics. Which is good. I tell you what, it's definitely well written. Oh boy. If I didn't like the Redcast before, still don't like them. That's a good thing. Like that's the intention, but oh boy. Ooh. I'm just reading like, oh shit. But it's well written. Like I definitely understand like how everything like ties together. It's good. It's a good article. I still hate the Redcaps. But that's the intended effect, I think. So I think we're good. Ah, jeez. This still kills me. That kills me every time. God. God. Good heavens. Ah. Woof. Whimsy. The bad times. We return to... we return now to your originally scheduled... the times that exist. And it's way too loud. Ah, jeez. Back to the article that I've done no words on. Hell yeah, boy. Which is a bunch of blank spaces because I haven't written anything. Whoa. So I was going through here when we got a bunch of the showcases. And I don't think I had anything else to add to any of these. Like at all. Like she doesn't have a name that I know anyway. I'm not making one. Dear Jesus. I'm not conlanging her a name. I do not want to do that currently. I don't usually fill out these I do usually fill out this section. I need to pop that in there. As it is presumed. Cause I don't use the field on the first tab. I always use that one. If I use it at all. Conditions, death. Oh no, you have caught a case of Big Dead. As the case may be. As is often the case. I guess you could put that her affiliate organization is Erisserel, considering that's the big thing. There isn't an article about the kingdom, because why would there be? That's a bit too much even for me. And then she's not technically a divine, so she's not in there. So it's fairly short, sidebar-wise, for the actual, like, filled-out pages, but... First Empress. I might give her a name, but I'd have to... I don't think I have enough words in the language that would be used for this. Which is the issue. I think this one's the smallest of all of them. Because there's like nothing in there. Because I don't use it. Because I've been avoiding world building in that section of the world for like a year and a half. Except for, you know, I named two provinces at some point. No, I do not have the words required for that. Oops. Whoopsie daisies. I'll figure something out. Is a pseudo historical or mythical figure present in stories from What I seen. What I seen. Eastern Shores. The founder of the Worldbuilding Empire. He is said to have reigned for 100 years and quite possibly for many more in the Empire's predecessors. Predecessor or something like that. That's a solid intro for that, I think. It is not going to be a long article, I wouldn't think. I'm wondering, since today's almost certainly my last Twitch stream, not Twitch stream, last stream for WorldEmber, and I guess for the year overall, unless I need to fill a gap tomorrow or something. I'm wondering if maybe what I should do is actually have the option for a 4th showcase. Don't play the video, you'll make it lag if you do that. You don't play the video in the Twitch. That's not allowed. So I might actually add option 4. It's still only 1 per person, but there is now a 4th showcase slot. If anyone wants to claim that in the next, I want to say about 10 minutes. Well, I guess, yeah, about 10 minutes ish. Because then that gives me time to read it and then the stream can end. But I'll have there's a 4th redemption slot because I don't need to write this article to still finish WorldEmber at the goal that I set. So it's not as big of a deal if I don't write the whole stream. That said, I'm obviously still gonna, work on article as I go, but hey, it'd be like that. I'm trying to avoid eating my Skittles. I keep reaching for my food, and I'm like, no food. No food currently, I can eat in like 20 minutes. History. When there needs to be a short form of her name is the issue, because it's extremely long. It's long. Because you have to give her the entire name the whole time. She's like, the first empress, she needs a short form of her name. Like, it has to be like, she needs a name. So I'm just gonna put name in here. Actually, I'm gonna put sometimes also called name. You know what? That works. I'm happy to take that. I'm happy to take that, considering it's the end of WorldEmber. We'll be breaking all the rules. I'll take it. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. That means there's technically still a 4th slot for someone who isn't one of the people we've already featured on this stream to take. I'm gonna have to remember to take that off before I stream next on Saturday. Okay, so this is Siobhan's article about the Festival Cavern. Ooh. Come over here, please, Kestrel. What is it? Magintaski? What is it, Magintaski? Have I done something wrong? No, you're good. It is time for me to pass the torch, Little Run. What are you saying? You can't die yet. I'm not ready. My dear daughter, you have been ready for the last 30 years. Magenta sky. Oh! That did not scan as 2 words. What is it, magenta sky? Okay. My brain did not read that. My dear daughter, you've been ready for the last 30 years. I have watched you taking on the rituals and tasks as I have aged past the ability to move easily. Reaching out, she gently brushed a tear off her daughter's cheek. Now is the time to enter the cavern before I pass, and my essence is lost to our people. With lightning speed, she crafted her rainbow bridge and was gone. Kestrel knew this was going to be her hardest test, interring her own mother to the birthing pool. Crafting her own bridge, she followed her mother into the cavern. She watched helplessly as her mother turned to gold dust in front of her. Using her magic, she collected the gold and entered the most recently crafted birthing pool. From the waters of life we came, to the waters of life we return. May the waters always be enriching. Throwing the dust into the pool, she crumbled on the floor. Life that was, protects the lives to come. And that's the passing of the torch from magenta sky to kestrel. The festival caverns of the leprechauns are a tightly guarded secret. Not even the other Fae know of them. For the leprechauns, these caverns are the repository of their magic and the center of all celebrations. Purpose and function. The festival caverns were created for the spring celebration, coming-of-age rites, and the birth of young leprechauns. The spring celebrations occur when the hawthorn trees bloom. When the leprechaun gives birth, the birthing parent must come to one of the caverns and enter a birthing pool. When a leprechaun is born, the birthing pool eases the pain in both the parent and the child, preventing the onset of certain maladies which occur in the young without access to a birthing pool. The spring celebration is an adults-only affair, since a rainbow bridge is required to access the festival caverns. The celebration consists of a revel and a party. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Alterations. When the caverns are crafted, they consist of a large central chamber for spring celebration gatherings. These chambers consist of a large open space for dancing and revelry. Crafted along the walls are benches carved from the stone of their cavern. These benches, covered in furs and pillows, are large enough to be used as beds. There is a small chamber off to the side for storage of additional furs, blankets, and pillows for use in the revel. On the northern side of the chamber is a large pool of heated water for relaxing and the coming-of-age ritual of leprechauns who were male at birth. The water within the pool has a gold shimmer, and very fine flecks of gold dust line the pool. The western wall has a number of doors leading off from the main chamber. These doors are the only access to the birthing pools. These pools are considered sacrosanct, and are strictly off-limits during the spring celebration. Like the pool in the main chamber, they shimmer with the gold in the water and lining the floor of the pool. The birthing pools are smaller than the main pool, as they are crafted to hold only 2 adult leprechauns at a time. Each festival cavern will hold between 4 and 8 birthing pools. Architecture. When the leprechauns decide to build a festival cavern, they first scout the mountain ranges of Corrigenda for a likely place that is both hidden and out of the way. Because of their ability to sense the magic in others, when a likely site is found, the one who found it will return to the community and lead the others back to the site via a rainbow bridge. Once the community is gathered, they pool their magic to create an entrance, which will be closed later. The chambers are crafted and molded by their magic. The ceilings are turned transparent from the inside to allow natural light into the cavern. The area above the cavern is always clear as snow, though, through the use of glamour. This fact is hidden from view. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Stalactites are grown in crystallized form to allow for light refraction during the day. At night, they emit a soft light, just enough to give the chamber a comfortably erotic feel. Heavens above. The bench beds are sculpted into the wall in niches, designed for comfort whether sitting or laying on them. The tops are covered by a thick layer of soft moss. Leprechauns call these canoodling couches. Ah, Jesus. Within the niches are small crystals which glow with a soft red light and can be covered if desired. The festival and birthing pools are hollowed out of the floor. Heated water is guided into the pools. The magic, which is infused into the water, keeps it clean and heated. The festival pool has stepped benches lining the edges. Okay. History! Before the festival caverns were created, leprechauns would find a natural hot spring and create pools, one for the festival and one for birthing. This worked until humans discovered them and started taking the gold dust from the pools. This caused the pools to lose their magic. With this loss of magic, the young leprechauns suffered greatly upon their birth, and most died during childbirth. Those unlucky enough to survive the birth were born with some defect or another. Not all defects were visible. In fact, those who were born with mental defects usually ended up with the redcaps. The ones who were born with physical defects suffered for their whole life. Once the cause was discovered, the leprechauns carefully gathered the gold from the springs. With the gold in their care, they went in search of somewhere safe to craft new pools. This was when they decided to hide their sacred pools behind glamours and deep within the mountains, the only access being their rainbow bridges. They only had enough gold to build one festival cavern to start with. This first cavern only had one birthing pool, and the festival pool was very small, barely large enough to complete the coming-of-age ritual. It wasn't long before they had enough gold to increase the cavern's festival pool and add more birthing pools. This came at a great loss to the leprechauns, for it required the death of a number of their kin. For the leprechauns, this was both a blessing and a curse. The ones who passed away in order to expand the cavern were those with physical defects, died from complications due to their deformities. While that loss was tragic, there was a distinct advantage in that they were no longer suffering. That's rough. That is very rough. Oh, there's more though. So, design. This round cavern is carved directly from the inside of the mountain. A new cavern would be about 40 feet in diameter. As the community grows, so does the cavern. Entries. The only way in or out of festival caverns is by Rainbow Bridge. This is so the leprechauns can ensure the security of their sacred site. Sensory and appearance. The cavern is warm and slightly humid from the pools. The floors and walls are smooth. The air has a scent of moss since that is the only thing growing within the cavern. Depending on the time of day, the light can be bright and multi-hued or pleasantly dim. The sound of running water can be heard faintly. There are small doors and lids on the canoodling couches for storage purposes. There is a faint sound of music that permeates the air. Contents and furnishings. Within the storage spaces you will find instruments, pillows, furs, and blankets. In the niches are small crystal lamps. Special properties. There is hot running water and heated pools for relaxing in. The original entrance into the cavern has been sealed, and a pair of air holes were left open to allow for the circulation of air. Due to their history, leprechauns are secretive by nature. For this reason, there are glamours placed around the air holes and the land above the cavern. These glamours are used to hide the effects of the magic and the sound which would escape from the cavern on the off chance someone found a way to reach the site. Mama, why is it we never go anywhere? Kestrel, I am the keeper of the cavern. I need to be here when there is a need. I cannot leave for long if I do, and until you master the Rainbow Bridge, you cannot leave either. I never get to meet people my own age. I'm bored. Well, if you're bored, you could always study. I don't like studying. Would you like to learn about what I do? It would mean more of my time for you. Oh yes, please, Mama. I would love to learn that. Magenta Sky smiled. Well then, why don't we start with learning all about how to birth a baby? Our goat is ready to give birth. I love that. That's great. It's very cool. I like that tie into the history that they've had, and the fact that it's just kind of they're neat. They're neat. I like these festival caverns with all their canoodling couches. I can't handle the word canoodle. I'm sorry. I can't handle the word canoodle. Oh, and we got one more. We have one more showcase, which I'll have to start now because I won't have time otherwise. Oh god. I mean, it's not long, but I'm like, okay. That water felt flat, which doesn't make sense, but you're gonna have to trust me on that. Which is weird, because it's not like I didn't fill it up like this morning. That water tasted flat. That's a little confusing. I don't like that. But here we are. This is what will be the final showcase of my WorldEmber, I guess. Assuming I don't have to stream again in the next 2 days. This is Dansley Cat's article about Eddie Rider. The Eddie Rider is a river ship owned by the leaders of the kingdom-wide band of thieves who call themselves the Hand. They are the strongest gang in the Mirabek's kingdom, though there are always rivals trying to change that. Yeah, that's probably what it was, metallic tasting. Yeah, that's it. And that's exactly what it was. It tasted kind of metallic. Because it's just been sitting in the metal water bottle. for, I guess, too long. Like, I should have... I usually refill it before stream, but I guess you need to just, like, shake it, and maybe it'll chill out. Maybe it won't do that if I shake it. Who knows? Recently, the Eddie Rider sailed into Blackstone with several high-ranking members of the Hand. It was supposed to be a jovial time, celebrating a successful heist, but things had gone horribly wrong, and the local band of the Hand was in trouble. Things had to be done. I was worried for a second this was supposed to be like the boat was gonna capsize. I was like, ah, shit. Another party boat. A party boat after my own heart. The Eddie Rider is a two-masted sailing ship, best suited for rivers and coastal waters. It does not sit as deep in the water as an ocean-going ship, allowing for it to reach much shallower harbours. It is small enough that its crew can use poles to safely moor or launch it from a dock, or try to keep it from striking a hazard in the water. All river ships are fast and manoeuvrable, but do not do well on the high rolling seas. The Eddie Rider is even faster, as it sails light with a hold made for passengers, not cargo. This is very intense music for writing about a boat. The Eddie Rider is about 75 feet long, with a top deck and lower deck called the hold, where the crew and passengers sleep. The top deck holds 2 rail ballistas that launch hollowed ceramic balls filled with ichor or alchemist's fire by sliding them along a rail with their powerful strings. The Eddie Rider is the only ship owned by the Hand, though they do have a fleet of keel boats, single-masted boats without a lower deck. Aboard... Heavens. Aboard these smaller boats, the real skullduggery of the Hand is carried out. Reason for speed. Militant river ships are used by the Marines. Militant river ships used by the Marines have an added forecastle and stern castle upon which are archers and/or rail ballistas. On the deck are 2 catapults that sling stones or larger ceramic kegs, much bigger than ceramic balls, of ichor or alchemist's fire. In addition to the ship's crew, a militant river ship can hold up to 20 Marines trained for boarding actions, as the hold has been converted to a barracks where sailors and Marines sleep. They are ships the Eddie Rider tries hard to evade. Okay. Captain Dynal Oakley. Dinal? I'm assuming it's like Dynal. Captain Dynal Oakley commands the Eddie Rider. He is a well-seasoned captain who began his river career as a merry marine. He proved himself as a talented first mate. When he was not granted his own ship to command, as he was considered too young and inexperienced, despite his excellent service, he quit the Marines in arrogant frustration. Not long after, the Hand found him and hired him to be the captain of their new ship, the Eddie Rider. Ooh. Oakley runs a tight ship, and his crew is well trained and able. They are also all members of the Hand. He has more than once fended off river pirates, and even sunk one too stubborn to give up. These clashes only happened when the Eddie River was pinned against the wind and had no choice but to fight. Being such a fast ship, running from trouble was always best. To give the Eddie Rider the appearance of being a legitimate ship, Captain Oakley takes on passengers, for a price. These passengers can buy any and all entertainments they want for their travels, as long as they can afford it. With the Hand greasing the palms of most harbour masters, any improprieties tend to be ignored, making the Eddie Rider a very privileged means of travelling through the kingdom of Mirabex. Amongst the more rakish nobility and wealthy, sailing on the Eddie Rider is just the thing, and Captain Oakley holds auctions where the highest bidders win passage on his ship. That is cool. I like that element of, the illicit thrill of sailing on a pirate ship down the river and, getting to have a good time. I like that a lot. And I like you have sort of a picture of Captain Oakley as well, and over the boat. One thing I do want to say, though, is that all 3 of these paragraphs here start with the Eddie Rider. I would possibly try and vary that a little bit. possibly just a little, because they all start identically. They're all, the Eddie Rider is. So if there can be a little bit of variation between those 3 paragraphs and how they open, it would look a little bit better. But I do really like it. I like this book. I'm excited to see what things have to be done. I'm excited to see what the hand is doing next on aboard their fancy river ship. Oh, jeez. Oh, I need to stretch again. Ow. I'll posture check myself. Oh boy. Everyone's articles are so cool. That's in the nano. Aha! Hell yeah. Be tying it all back. I'm devastated that I chose a nano project that I basically can't write about. Most of it is not really writable. It's just all characters. It's all these people. I'm like, you people suck. You all suck. Can't write about any of them. None of them are doing cool things. Yeah, oops. I mean, I like the nano thing that I was working on, and that I plan to work on when January starts. Because I put it on hiatus while I did WorldEmber. And so, ideally, I will restart working on that. And hopefully finish a first draft so I can say that I did it. Even if I've decided that everything should be different now. Pretty much the moment I wrote a part, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. And now I have to deal with the consequences of my actions. And I'm like, well, shit. Just gotta write out the nano and just finish it off. Now, I'll probably still be writing that in, like, June. Which will be fun. I'll finish it eventually. What I won't finish is any articles. I wrote this for my novel, so everything is in relation to your nano project in one form or another. That's a good way to do it. My world was originally for that. It isn't anymore. In the slightest. At all. I kind of made a big mistake doing that. Because it was originally constructed to support not the Nano novel, the prequel to the novel I was working on for Nano. Which is weird, but I decided I wanted to write the one that had a clear plot first. So I wrote the sequel before the prequel. And so it was made entirely to support that story. It had its main cast of, what, like 5, 6 people? I think it's only... There's only 5 of you. The main cast of 5, there was like 1 villain that I'd written, and I was like, this is great. And then I started writing about all their countries, because they all came from different places, and then things went whoosh. And it sure as hell isn't confined to that continent anymore. Like, this article I'm working on here is from a different continent entirely. Like, oops. Oops. Gonna ding that up a little bit. I blame Summer Camp 2019 for that. It's all 2019's fault for making me write about interesting things and making me expand the setting way huge. And now I'm dealing with the consequences of my actions. I done wrote too much, and now I have to deal with it. Devastating. Oh well. Eventually I'll try and write the prequel story. So that I can justify having ever started doing TUMR. Be like, here you go. Here's the story of Gay Suicide Squad. Here they are. Here you go. Here they are doing dumb shit. And off to the right, we see the necromancer electrocuting himself. For a reason, but it's still kind of wild that's happening. He doesn't die, but like, you know, it happens. Eventually I'll write the prequel, when I figure out the basic pacing. How the hell any of that's supposed to work. Monster of the Week does not work great in the written format. You can write lots of articles for characters, even though they're minor characters. Yeah, I have character articles for most of the major characters. Most of them. A couple of them don't. I actually wrote about the villain from the prequel during WorldEmber. She hadn't had an article written, even though she's been in this setting since 2018. I was like, I don't want to write about her yet. And then I was like, well, shit. Here she is, so she exists now. She's around. She's in jail currently. That's fine. It's normal. I still have a bunch of characters from the actual Nano novel that need articles too. Which is basically the entirety of this top section here. Everyone above Avtiash, these are all either Nano characters or they are broadly related to them. Like, Grelan is important for political reasons, Larian is important for political reasons. The rest of these are actual characters, like, he's the dude's dad, that's the dude's, like, the equivalent of an uncle. She's the dude's, like, technically almost sister-in-law, but he's not married to her brother yet. She's also a ghost. This is his, like, nibbling, but, like, in-law, and that's the president. Who he's met. So I'm like, ah, excellent. Ah, DM Twitch is back. Had a video call. Oof. Gross. Video calls are gross. You had 2 of your characters written, but you still haven't written the bad guy for book 1 yet. Yeah, it do be like that. It do be like that. I was like, why would I write the villain? It's like, no. The annoying part about the... Because I wrote about the villain for the prequel in WorldEmber. The issue is that I've written the article from the perspective of someone from 425. The issue is that the story is set in 414. She's not in prison yet. So it reads a little weird. So that's going to be an interesting article to deal with. It'll probably go private at some point. Ah, video call with a mate. Okay, that's a good one then. That's a good video call to be in. That's the ideal way to do it. If you're gonna be in a video call, that's the one to be in. Yep. That's the way to do it. I'm gonna have to keep using this page to remind me to do articles. Because these are basically all the articles I still haven't written. Some of them don't even have names, and this isn't an exhaustive list. And eventually, one day, this table will yeet off into the void and I'll never have to worry about it again. Eventually, the country table will stop existing. I look forward to that day in 2023, when I finally write all the countries in TUMR. These are all in one continent. I made a mistake. Some of them will be combined, but I can't be bothered to do that yet. Ah, well. Ah, well. Some of it will be neat. This will be fun to write about when I get to it. Some of these will get done. Some of these won't. Some of these will not get done. I anticipate. I keep not doing those too. Ah well. Anyway. It is now past 1. It's actually past 1 in the morning. Because I got distracted talking about Nano. So, as usual, we will be raiding RPG Dinosaur Bob. I'm going to put my raid call in now before I hit it to remind you all that you can use channel points to claim the toast emote. And you can put, like, Christmas shit on it. Which is just delightful. You can Christmas the hell out of it. It's great. My god. I love it. Oh, there is a way to see who's following your world. You go to your world homepage, and you come to the part here, which says, you know, world has followers. Click that. There is a list. There's a list of them. Everyone's in here. Gang's all here. There you go. Oh no, the font's wrong. Dimmy, no. So yes. That's how you see your followers. Boom. Okay. The raid is now launching. So, everyone has their yelling toast, the raid toasts. I'd like to thank you all very much for coming. I hope that you all had a lovely day. I didn't get much writing done, but I did get to share a bunch of articles written by all of you, and I think that's honestly way cooler, just because it means I actually get to read articles, because sometimes I don't, because I've been so busy world building, I don't get to read them myself. And so I hope that you guys had fun seeing the stuff that other people have been working on, and that you've, been like chilling or productive or whatever it is that you wanted to be for the 2 hours that I've been live. When I go live on Saturday, it won't be WorldEmber, and it will probably be art. I'll probably be drawing something. Haven't decided what yet. We'll figure it out closer to the date. Oh yeah, thank you all for coming. Hope you'll have a lovely time with Dinosaur Bob. I think he'll be running sprints like he usually does to get some of those creative juices flowing. And I will see you all around. Bye-bye. Bye.